Good evening, everyone. Myself, Marwa Abdussalam. I'm a psychologist and a parenting coach. I have worked as a consultant psychologist in a child development center. I've handled cases with autism, ADHD, and learning disability. So today I want to talk about positive discipline strategies for children with autism. Before we begin, let me address the question, why positive discipline for autism? As we all know, children with autism have unique needs when it comes to learning boundaries and managing behaviors. Traditional discipline strategies usually don't work and it can lead to frustration. Positive discipline focuses on teaching, helping the children develop various skills while respecting their needs. That is why positive discipline works well for children with special needs. Now, let's see what is positive discipline. Positive discipline is a way of teaching appropriate behavior to children in a loving, respectful way. Imagine your child is struggling with transitioning from screen time to dinner and often end up crying when you ask them to switch off the TV. So, here in this situation, instead of yelling at them or scolding them, you can use various positive discipline strategies. So, what you can do is try to understand the child's behavior. So, you might notice that the child faces difficulty whenever you are asked to switch from one activity to another. You can also use various tools like maybe a visual timer so that it will be easy for the child to understand and it will be easy for them to switch from one task to another. Positive discipline also involves acknowledging the child's feelings. So, when your child is going through a difficult emotion, like maybe a meltdown, you need to validate and acknowledge their. How do we acknowledge a child's feeling? We can offer them a hug or hold their hands firmly for a period of time. So that's about positive discipline. Now, if we look at the key principles of positive discipline, it focuses on guidance rather than punishment. Most commonly used discipline strategies are either reinforcement or punishment. That is, whenever a child is showing a desirable behavior, the parent reinforces them. And when the child is showing any kind of undesirable behavior, the parent punishes them. Apart from this, positive discipline focuses on guiding the child. Imagine your child gets into a meltdown when you ask them to leave the playground. So here you can start by acknowledging the child's feeling, like say, let them know that understanding what child is going through it. And you can also let the child know that it is okay to have such feelings. Additionally, you can use a visual timer. So next time when you go to the playground, you can let the child know that when the timer beeps in 5 minutes, the child is supposed to leave the playground. So those are the different positive discipline strategies. And using these positive discipline strategies, you can guide appropriate behavior in your child. Second one is to be clear, consistent, and predictable. Make sure that whatever rules you set for your child, it should be clear, it should be very simple for the child to understand and follow, and it should be consistent. The rules that you set should be the same every day and should be followed consistently. Another step is to understand the triggers. Try to identify the sensory, emotional, and environmental triggers that is leading to various challenging behaviors in your child. Now, let's look at what are the common challenges that is associated with disciplining children with autism. One is the frequent meltdowns. I think you might have experiences. The children usually throw meltdowns. Now, meltdowns are usually unintentional behavior that is involuntary, that is something beyond the control of the child. And meltdowns usually occur as a result of sensory stimulation, like when there's a bright light or loud noise. Children feel very overwhelmed and frustrated and they start crying. Now, this behavior is what we call a meltdown. Second challenge is the refusal to follow instructions. So we have two language systems. One is the receptive language, and another one is the expressive language. Receptive language is an individual's ability to understand and process words, while expressive language is the ability to communicate our thoughts through words and sentences. So, children with autism often struggle with receptive language skills, and so they find it really difficult to understand complex instruction. So in our reality, it's not actually refusal. They are not refusing to follow instructions. Rather, they are finding it difficult to understand and follow complex instructions. Another very common challenging behavior is aggression. They show various aggressive behaviors like hitting, biting, and throwing away things. And another challenge is the difficulty with transitions or routine changes. So, whenever a slight change occurs in their daily routine, it becomes very difficult for them to adapt to these changes. And one thing which I want all parents to note is that whatever challenging behaviors that we have discussed so far is due to difficulties in their communication, sensory processing, and emotional regulation. And these behaviors are not the result of any intentional misbehavior. That is something that we need to note at first. Now, let's look at various practical positive discipline strategies which you can implement in your daily life. First one is to use simple and clear instructions. So, like I've already mentioned, children with autism often struggle with lengthy instructions. So, whenever you give any instruction to your child, make sure it is very brief. And you can also use visual cues or picture cards to help explain behavior expectations. So, one such visual cue is these first then charts. I hope it is visible. Okay. So if you want your child to get done with their homework and then go to play, you instead of telling them, instead of instructing them that you need to study first and then only you are allowed to play, instead of giving such lengthy instructions, you can use these cards. You can show them these cards because here the instructions are pretty much simple, and since there are visual elements involved, it becomes easy for the child to understand what is being told to them. The PDF version of first then cards are available. The blank template is also available. So just in case any parents need, you can message me personally in Facebook or Instagram. I'll be sharing my contact details towards the end of the session. Second one is to have a visual schedule and routine. So predictability is key for children with autism. And so make sure that you have a consistent routine that you can follow with your child. And one thing that can help you with building and maintaining a consistent routine is a visual chart. Now, visual chart is something where you can, like if you want your child to complete certain tasks, you can mention those tasks and add pictures for these tasks in a chart. For example, if there are certain tasks that you want your child to get complete in the morning or a morning routine task, you can create a visual chart where you need to list down the task that the child has to complete in the morning. For example, brushing the teeth, having the breakfast, or getting dressed up for school. And along each task, you need to add a picture so that it becomes easy for the child to understand what task is it. And whenever the child completes any task, you can appreciate them or you can reinforce them by using a star, by giving them a star or maybe a token. So basically, a visual charts can work as a reward chart as well. I'll be explaining what is a reward chart in the coming section. One tip that I had like to suggest is that make sure you follow this routine every day. Try to have a consistency in your routine. But if in case when you transition, when you switch to another activity, try to give them a warning sign. For example, if you want your child to clean up the toys or to stop playing, give them the warning sign at least 5 minutes before, so that it becomes easy for them to switch to the another task. Another one is to teach replacement behavior. So focus on what the child can do instead of what they shouldn't be doing. Suppose if your child is hitting you out of frustration, instead of telling them to stop hitting, you can tease them to use phrases like I'm upset or I need a break, or you can also encourage them to use a calm down corner. Now, a calm down corner or a calm down kit is something that you can create on your own at your home, and it is actually very beneficial. It helps to calm down the kids, and it helps them to regulate their emotions as well. To create a calm down kit, you need to have some sensory elements like maybe a stuffed toy, a soft toy, and some weighted blankets, and a few fidget toys. So that's how you can create a calm down kit. You can additionally add few items that your child finds it soothing. And along with creating a calm down kit, you can teach your child some deep breathing exercises. And you can also encourage them to use a stress ball as a calming strategy, to squeeze a stress ball. So what are the different deep breathing techniques that we can teach to a child? Simple deep breathing exercises I can explain now, which is known as the bubble breathing exercise. So here, it's basically any breathing exercises involve in inhalation and exhalation. So in bubble breathing, we ask the child to inhale through the nose slowly, to inhale through the nose, and then exhale slowly through your mouth, just like the way we blow out the bubbles. So that is why this exercise is called a bubble breathing exercise. Okay, so let me just explain it once more. Bubble breathing exercise is when you ask your child to inhale through the nose and exhale slowly through the mouth, just like the way you blow a bubble. So you can teach this breathing exercise to your child. I have a worksheet available on this bubble breathing exercise as well. So just in case anybody require it, it's actually free. And if you want that copy, you can leave me a message. Next strategy is to reinforce positive behavior with rewards. So here we'll discuss about the reward chart that I have mentioned. So like I have said in the visual charts, whenever your child completes any task, you can reinforce that behavior by offering them a star or maybe a token. And you need to set a rule that if a child attains these number of stars or these number of tokens in a week, maybe 3 or 5, you can decide. It's totally up to you. So if the child attains that particular number of stars in a week, they will be getting a reward. Now, the reward should be something that the child feels happy and excited about. So when I used to work at the child development center, there was a client and he was obsessed with these bottle caps, the plastic bottle caps. So whenever he did well in therapies, the bottle that this was something that I used to give him as a reward. So try to identify those objects or those things that makes your child happy and select those items as a reward. Next one is to teach emotional regulation to your child. So using emotion cards, you can help the child to identify and label different emotions. So there are different versions of emotion charts. It is available as flashcards as well. Now this is something that I have with me. So here different emotions are listed down. The facial expressions that is also there. We have happy, excited, scared, sad, disgusted, upset, sleepy, annoyed, proud, worried, silly, exhausted. We have so many emotions listed here. So using these emotion cards, you can teach children on what are the different emotions and also what are the different words that is used to describe each emotion. So when you teach them this, they will become aware or they will learn about what are the different emotions and what are the words that we use to name each emotion. So once that is done, you can try using a feelings thermometer or an emotion level chart. So in emotion level chart, different levels of an emotion will be mentioned and it looks like something like this. This is not a feelings thermometer. Feelings thermometer looks like that of a thermometer. This one is an emotional levels chart. So here, as you can see, different levels of an emotion is mentioned here. Feeling good, a little upset, upset and very upset. And here, the child need to write down, I feel this way when. So when you encourage your child to use this chart, they will come to realize that what are the situations that is triggering them these emotions. Like the child will be able to understand what is the situation, or when are the situation they feel really good, or what makes them feel upset. But in order to use this emotion chart, first we need to teach children on what are the basic emotions. Another one is to address meltdowns with empathy and compassion. So, like I've said, meltdown is something very common that we experience with our children. And as a parent, how are we supposed to address these meltdowns? So we should stay calm while addressing a meltdown. And the first step is to remove sensory stimulations as much as possible. So you can try reducing the light, or dimming the light, or reducing the noise, so that the child feels calm. And additionally, you can also redirect your child by offering them other alternatives. Like if the child is hitting out of frustration, or due to or feeling overwhelmed, you can give them a pillow and ask them to squeeze a pillow as a way of calming them down. Or you can suggest a few other tips, like maybe asking them to count to 10, or you can also offer them a glass of water. So that is how, don't focus on telling the child to stop that behavior. Try to redirect that behavior to some other alternatives. Next, I want to talk about self-care. Now, this is something that I try to include in my every presentation, because I feel that no matter what age of your child is, or no matter what the condition of your child is, parenting can be very exhausting. It can be overwhelming. So it's really very important to take care of ourselves first, because I guess we all have heard about the statement that you can never pour from an empty cup. So the only way to fill your cup is by prioritizing yourselves and taking care of yourselves. Now, let me tell you why self-care matters. It actually enhances emotional resilience. It helps parents to manage stress. It recharges them so that you can stay calm when your child is having a meltdown. Otherwise, I can understand that it is really very difficult to stay calm when your child is having a meltdown. But if you take care of yourselves, if you engage in activities that you love to do, you'll be able to stay calm when your child is having a difficult time. It also prevents burnout and emotional exhaustion. It improves patience and compassion. It can also result in better physical and emotional health. So when you start taking care of yourselves, there are numerous other benefits that occurs in your physical and mental health, like it reduces stress, it improves your sleep quality, and on the whole, it contributes to your overall well-being, which again has a positive impact on your child as well. So by taking care of ourselves, we are actually bringing best version of ourselves, and that is in turn going to benefit our child only. Somewhere people have this misconception that self-care is about being selfish, but that's actually a misconception. Only if again, I keep telling that only a happy parent can raise a happy child. Now, let me share some practical self-care tips that you can try. So one is the deep breathing, mindfulness breathing exercises. So when you go on YouTube, you can find a number of videos on mindful breathing exercises. You can select any short video from that, but make it a habit. Like the moment you wake up early in the morning, practice mindful breathing exercises for at least 5 minutes. Make it part of your routine. And another tip is to create a calm down ritual for yourself. We have talked about creating a calm down kit for our kids, but it's really very important for the parents to have their own calm down ritual as such, because like I've said, because it helps us sane actually if we have a calm down ritual. So from your busy schedule, from your routine, set aside few minutes for things that you love to do, maybe walking or reading a book or listening to soothing activity. It requires a very less time, but it's all about, putting in that extra effort for ourselves. Another tip that you can try is seeking the help of others. So whenever you feel overwhelmed or whenever you feel that you need to talk to someone to share your concerns or you just to open up, you can reach out to your friends or family or support groups, and you can also connect with me. I would be happy to help you out. Don't feel that if we seek the help of others, quite embarrassing, or don't feel ashamed about it. Whenever you have any concerns or you just want anybody to listen to what you want to say, a non-judgmental space, you can connect with support groups for mothers or for parents with autism. And also general parenting groups. And like I've said, you can always message me on Instagram. I will be happy to help you out in whatever way possible. And also try to engage in physical activity. It could be a short walk, maybe for 30 minutes or so, but try to make it as a habit. You can engage in a short walk or join some yoga classes, or few stretching exercises can also have numerous benefit for your physical and emotional health. Because when you start doing these physical exercises, it actually improves your mood and it actually boosts your energy levels. So we might feel that it's just a walk for 10 minutes, or 15 minutes, but it has got proven benefits for our physical and emotional health. So I had like to end today's session with a gentle reminder that every child can thrive with right guidance and support. And always remember that you are building a foundation of love, trust, and growth for your child. So that's all that I wanted to discuss today. In case if you have any queries, you can ask now, or if you are not able to join live, you can leave your queries in the Facebook live comment section. I'll be addressing it later. Yeah, I can help you with that. I'll add the link in the Facebook comment section. Right now, I have the printout with me, but I did see a free template as well. I'll share it later. Do we have another queries? So that's all for today. Thank you so much, Team Autism Connect, for having me today. And for those of you who want to connect with me, I am available on Instagram as Marwa_parenting coach. And I'm also available on Facebook. So if you have any queries or if you need any help related to parenting children with autism or any other special needs, I can help you with that. Feel free to connect with me. Thank you and have a nice day.